It had been a quiet year in the shadows after a change in presidency, but after a musical performance behind a mask for a tape show that I can't imagine more than 4 people watch, Rudy Giuliani is back. First of all, the Masked Singer, really? Who is watching network television anymore? And then they have like 4 different spin-offs of this show.
Wait, who's Rudy Giuliani?
I know him because I grew up in New York, where he was, I think, the mayor, right? And he kind of led us out of 9/11. Like he was a guy that he was, brave leadership. But then he's most notably recently known as Trump's lawyer. And I think they had like a parting of ways, maybe not, but he's kind of associated with obviously Trump.
Go ahead.
Well, but what was just funny was he's all of a sudden unmasked as one of these masked singers, and 2 of the judges walked off the goddamn set like they were so offended. First of all, what is Giuliani doing? Doing this show? Like, what the fuck? The Masked Singer of all things. He's like, you know what? This is how I get in people's hearts again. The Masked Singer.
Have you watched it?
No, it's just I see their promos. I can't even do it.
Right. I've seen a few clips, and like, to be honest, I mean, I don't know what I'm listening to or whatever, but it sounds kind of like auto-tuned. Like some of these people will reveal, and I'm like, I don't know if I believe they sound that good.
Yeah, it's reality TV. It's a competition where basically it's either a celebrity or a singer, and it's basically trying to show off, hey, I can sing, and people guess. Well, who is that? Well, from some clues. It's a cool concept, but again, this is for what? Like Housewives? I don't know who's watching this.
So I got a few things. First of all, Rudy Giuliani was the guy from Borat 2, right?
Yes, great call.
That almost like hooked up with the chick.
Correct.
Oh,
in real life.
Yeah, old white guy, a little bit nefarious.
Jesus Christ. Sorry about that, guys.
It's time for Wing.
I don't know what that was for. And then second of all, remember like OG American Idol?
Yes, like I missed that. And I feel like everyone's ripping it off.
Yeah, dude, that shit went hard. Like when they would freak out and just curse, and it would show the American Idol sign over their mouth.
Dude, the auditions, how many people went out to that shit? Seacrest just pulling in like the stories and like the OG judges, that was the greatest. That show went like long beyond its popularity, I think. Like it had a great run.
Yeah, but now I guess The Voice is kind of like took that over.
Right.
And so yeah, not only do they have the Masked Singer, which is like a kind of clever, but don't they have the Masked Dancer too?
Which is like, really, it's like, you think we're stupid enough for watching the Masked Singer, the Masked Dancer? Who ran out of ideas? Someone just pulled that out of a trash bin, crumpled up, and it was just like, the Masked Dancer. I think we can make that work. Let's put it on Fridays at 7 p.m. Central.
How are you gonna look at someone dance and be like, "Oh, I think that's Justin Bieber"?
And who knows dancers? Like, yes, this reminds me of the work of Juliet Page. I don't know a single dancer
except Delaney.
Yeah, I was gonna say the only name that came to my mind was Delaney Glazer, or maybe she's on it. So Ken Jeong and Robin Thicke were so offended they walked off set. Really? Robin Thicke? Checkered past himself. He was like, you know what? He did what Giuliani was doing. He was like, you know what? This is how America gets back. I'm just going to walk off. I'm just going to walk off the set and people will love me again.
Wait, why'd they walk off? Because it was him?
I don't know. Because again, it's the fight between the far right and the far left. I guess Ken Jeong is far left, I guess. He's Professor Chang from Community is where I love him, and he's also in The Hangover, right? But now he's doing the Masked Singer.
So they didn't walk off to be funny or anything. They were actually
they were appalled. Yeah, like they were so offended they didn't even, I would have been screaming at Giuliani or something. I would have been doing it, but if you were appalled, I would have challenged him, not just walk off.
So how do you
It's
like
not
win?
live.
How do you
No, it's
win?
a
right?
show. Yeah, so you win by basically, I think you get voted off by having the worst performance. So you have to like be a decent singer. And like T-Pain was actually, I think the first season it was unmasked that it was T-Pain, and Antonio Brown was one of them. Like they get some interesting guests
Oh my God. Recently?
to be singers. I think it was last season or 2 seasons ago. I can't keep up. But speaking of being offended, did you guys see why Adidas was trending today?
No.
Okay. Well, buckle up. Well, I mean, people were outraged because everyone's outraged about this, but this was something that got people talking. Adidas literally released an ad campaign, like kind of promoting their sports bras. And it was just the bare chest of 30 women. Like, I kid you not, on Twitter, there's just a rack of 30 knockers for this bare boobs. And
For what?
for Adidas's new sports
Trying to
bra
pull it up.
campaign. How yeah, I don't know. Literally pull up the tweet, actually, Alex. It's on Adidas's fucking campaign. We'll get it for the visual audience. I'll just say, don't be
Did they not
eating lunch
delete it?
right now.
Is this NSFW?
That's what I'm saying. It is not safe for work. It's not safe for kids. Like, how did they get? Like, is this poor? Wait, did you see it? That's great.
Seeing it.
Pin tweet. What?
Bro.
Right.
First of all, how do you get away with that? What, so many questions? What? Huh? Dear Lord. And why? I mean, I get it. It's get people talking, but come on.
Should I retweet this right now?
Yes.
I'm not kidding. Should I
Just
retweet
retweet it. Just say thank you. I couldn't believe it. That was the trending. So again, if you're just hearing this for the first time, do yourself a Google search and you will see what we are talking about.
Oh wow.
Dude, what I'm retweeting it, but what the fuck?
Like, is that porn? What is that legitimately porn? I don't know.
Dude, these are some disgusting bro.
That's what I'm saying. Is like, can we say that? But then why are you tweeting that out? We didn't ask to see that on our timeline as we're going through. Maybe we're at lunch, scrolling through Twitter, and all of a sudden, here comes a promoted tweet, and there's 30 bare chests, ranging in ages up to, I believe, 85. I could tell by some of those photos.
Bro, this is unprecedented.
That's what I was, like. This broke the
tone
internet.
deaf? Is that what it's called?
What is it called? Sorry, Alex.
Like tone deaf?
No, I think it brings up an interesting thing because they're trying to promote, hey, here we are. Like, this is, it's promoting body awareness. But then it's like, wait a second, you took body awareness to the extreme. Like, I get you're showing all types of bodies, but I mean, you're showing them like in an unprecedented way.
And they have this huge fucking like billboard or whatever.
I can only imagine where is that going?
Like, what about the kids?
That's what I'm saying. Dude, the world is changing, and Adidas is certainly throwing something into the game today.
Dude, honestly, good for them for stirring up some shit. And
everyone's talking about it. It's Super Bowl. Everyone's doing these creative ad campaigns, and this was just an eye opener.
But honestly, like, I see maybe one good pair of boobs.
I said none.
Three.
None. I mean, come on. That was funny.
I mean,
speaking of porn, did St. Louis's own Nelly purposely release a video of himself getting domed to his Instagram?
Oh, I saw that on 1 minute.
Yeah. Well, first of all, KFC was interviewing him for something. And why I found it crazy was, one, Nelly accidentally posted it to his own Instagram, but then he was being interviewed, and it was almost like he was trying to show off the video of him getting domed to Kevin Hart. And Kevin Hart was like, what the fuck are you showing me right now? I'm trying to answer a question.
That is a good point. I wonder if he did that on purpose, but it didn't look like it was. I mean, I don't know. It could be acting.
Hey, you got people talking. Nelly that's what I'm saying. We haven't heard from Nelly a little bit since I think his tour bus got raided. But now we've got, his alleged sex tape posted to his Instagram account. My crypto experience made me want to take up heaters again. Sorry, I couldn't believe it. Alex, did you end up figuring out how to? Yeah, so we broke the news last week. Jack loses his NFT virginity only to sell the NFT 2 days later, right when I buy my first NFTs.
Did he sold it?
That's what I thought. I think he sold it like literally after we talked about it last week. Made a profit though.
He did?
Yeah.
I kid you not. We'll have to check back with him, but
that fucking pisses me off by Jack.
Why? Because he didn't hodl?
He's such a fucking paper hands dude. Like, he is literally, when you think of paper hands, you think of Jack Duncan.
Dude, I should pull up my fucking that's hilarious. Really. We should put that on the shirt. I'm gonna pull up my NFTs here, actually, if I could get to it. But yeah, I purchased my first 3, through like $200 in FTX. And the reason was, God, I was literally like losing my mind. I was feeling old, frustrated, trying to link my bank account to FTX. Then I was depositing, and I was trying to transfer to Sol, but then I couldn't transfer my USD because my bank had to confirm it. So then I just said, fuck it, and went to Coinbase. Like, it took an hour before I finally bought the art. And now I get, a whoop-de-doo. I have 3 NFTs.
Dude, it's crazy how complicated it is now that you've actually done it and like gotten the crypto and traded it and whatever. The meme where it's like the grandma that's like, back in my day, and then the next thing it's like pushing grandma to bed, like, go to bed, grandma. My brother made a meme that was like, back in my day, we were buying crypto on MetaMask and trading it on Uniswap.
Because there's going to be so many additions and so many new things. Yeah, I had to make a fucking wallet with Phantom, and in the wallet, I went onto Magic Eden and bought my NFTs.
That's the wildest part, is downloading the wallet and starting to figure it all out, and then you're like at the fingertips, you could buy $10,000 worth of something.
Like, I was like lost in a wormhole just looking through different, because there's so much shit. And I was like, all right, I'm going to get something that's I think is cool, right? I got like a cool looking Grim Reaper for 1 Sol, like a donkey wearing snowboarding glasses for like, 0.1 Sol.
Can we see them? Can you share them?
Yeah, here. I'm trying to figure out how I can do it, but.
Oh, you know what you could do is message them to.
Oh, you know what? I'll screenshot it and I'll shoot it to you. I'll shoot it to the group chat, and then maybe Alex can throw it up. We could do it. Maybe that'll be the big ta-da at the end while we're doing the tea. I'll get that ready. My NFTs. I got 3 of them for you. Did you see what FTX is doing for the Super Bowl, though? Speaking of advertisements, it's super cool. So they're giving away Bitcoin to like people retweeting it basically at this appointed time. So they bought a commercial for the Super Bowl. It is slotted to air sometime in the second half. And whatever time that airs is how many Bitcoin. So say like they're the last commercial at 11:15 Eastern. They're giving away 11 Bitcoins. And it's just like you have to, which is cool, and again, it's funny going back to see all the different Super Bowl commercials. Like 20 years ago, Staples had like, a fucking ad in the Super Bowl. Now it's all crypto and whatnot.
Wait. They're giving away how many Bitcoin and why?
So they're just giving away Bitcoin, big Super Bowl ad. You have to, whenever the ad airs, and they don't know when it will, it's just kind of when the NFL chooses, okay, here it goes. They know it's in the second half. So it's either going to be between like 8:30 Eastern or maybe 11 Eastern. So they're going to give away whatever time their ad airs. That's how many Bitcoin, like 8, 9, even up to 11, just to people on Twitter. Yeah.
Whoa.
You going to get it? Little Bitcoin rally here.
You know that Aaron Rodgers gave away $1 million in Bitcoin in $10 increments to people?
I can't even imagine. What are you doing with $10 of Bitcoin, too?
Dude, that's 100,000 Bitcoins or $100,000, 100,000 people, right?
Is this one you're looking at here, Alex? This is whose? Austin's?
Yeah, it's kind of sweet, isn't it?
I love it. Wait, what is it? What's like the tag name?
It's Apes in Space Takeoffs.
Oh, yeah, that's right. Yeah, as aforementioned.
Yeah, and you can look up rarity of like your
yeah, that's what I was looking at, which I found pretty cool. Here, I'll work on getting mine right now to you. Yeah, it was cool. You know, it's like art. It's the same thing. I just like it to just say I have it, you know. I'm kind of looking at like what they're selling at, you know, maybe every week, because you know, I'm not looking to flip it unless it's like gonna make a decent profit, right?
Well, yeah, you're curious how it's doing.
Sure.
Are you gonna make one of them your pro picks?
Dude, I was thinking about it. It was like, because
Yes.
I still do like play by play in the area. So like, what if when I have a broadcast and it's play by play broadcaster Dylan Corbett, someone retweets it, clicks on my profile, it's just a Grim Reaper with a fucking sword. Or like, what the fuck? So I thought about it, but maybe I'll make it my Instagram picture.
Yeah, or you'll have to walk around with your NFT like on your hoodie all the time.
Right, exactly. I'll put it on a chain.
My friend that lives here, Bryce, he got one of the legit apes for $1,000, and I think it's worth like $500,000 now. And he has like a hoodie with it. He has it as his background everywhere he goes. I'm like,
That's
dude.
actually the coolest part when you see some guys that like I've seen some other people do that with like clothing and whatnot. And I'm like, oh yeah, that's actually kind of dope.
Yeah. I mean, I fucking flex it too if I hit the jackpot. I mean, you literally are hitting the jackpot.
And that's what Gary.
How did you know that this one would be the best one in the world? He goes, dude, I had no fucking clue. Guess who hit me off to it? I go, who? He goes, the dude I game with on Xbox.
Hey, a tip's a tip.
He met him through Xbox and he got invited to his wedding.
Just some of the closest friends. You've heard of those stories? Like I see videos of guys in like their mid 40s, like finally seeing guys from the old gen Xbox they've chatted with for years.
Yeah.
I'm not that deep into it, but I definitely have made some like internet gaming friends for sure.
Yeah, sure. I just sent you those NFTs there. Whenever you get them, Alex, we could throw them up. But yeah, so that's what I'm saying is like I picked 3 cool ones and hopefully people find these cool so that the demand drives up and the price goes up. Because yeah, Gary Vee said on the Full Send podcast, he's like, you know what you should do is you should spend like $5,000, and again, not everyone has that. But if you really want to get into the NFTs and make some money, here we go. See, like this is a total of $200. And
dude,
those are the 3
donkey goes hard.
Cheapest one.
You gotta put that as your pro pick, bro.
You like the donkey?
Oh yeah. Right now.
I do like it. If you're talking like what you said, the Grim Reaper, for sure, I understand. You're like, yeah, I don't know about that. But the donkey is like, okay, this guy kind of is into NFTs. Maybe we should talk to him. He's the new wave.
And maybe that's the thing too, is you saw Brie Larson did something with an NFT, and now it's like that's how you put people on to what it's going on. Maybe Social Donkey spikes a little. I'll have to throw that up.
So from this,
but
yes, boom.
So that's a good question. Do you have Twitter Blue? And do we think that Twitter Blue, everybody will start paying for Twitter Blue here soon?
I was looking at it and I thought about getting it, but the only real thing I would use it for would be to actually have that NFT minted thing, which maybe it's worth it, maybe it's not. But the only other thing that was kind of tangible was the ability to undo a tweet, which I didn't really. That. Yeah, I mean, that would be nice. But again, if I tweeted something really fucking stupid, that's on me, and I'd rather just delete it and then try and like undo it.
I want to know the difference. Can you look that up, Alex?
Yeah, the difference in Twitter Blue.
The difference between undoing a tweet and deleting a tweet.
Yeah, sure. And again, I might be wrong on the logistics of that.
But I saw that. It was like, get Twitter Blue. You could undo your tweets. I was like, all right, first of all, if you're undoing your tweets, you're a fraud.
Right, exactly. Yeah.
But it said your collectibles. Was that not on Twitter?
That was my wallet, my Phantom wallet.
Oh, gotcha.
Yeah, which I still can't figure out. Like I have a rough estimate. Like the Grim Reaper I bought for 1 soul, but the others were like decimals. I don't even know where to find how much I paid for them. Like I have a general idea, but I still haven't figured out where to find that.
So it says basically it's like if you have your email settings like this, where before I send an email, I give myself 20 seconds to be like, oh, like cancel that.
Like if you accidentally hit reply all.
Yeah.
Okay, interesting. Yeah, I was thinking was like, I like the idea, and I think Twitter is such a used thing and still popular that people are going to pay for it, but I don't know. I ended up go back to it.
Go back to that, Alex. What is this little ad that they did? This is like something from the 90s on Disney Channel commercials. Go to the beginning.
We're at the end. Hold up.
Okay.
It's like
what is this?
Yeah. Wow.
I want there to be like some 90s disco or something like that.
Oh, okay. Here, yeah, we're learning. Undo tweet.
How the hell?
He's about to send it. He sent it.
Tweet.
Oh, it's like going like so.
Yeah, it's like retro 90s.
So think about it. They were sitting at a table one day and said, "How do we get people to get Twitter blue?" And this is what they came up with.
And wait a second, I just watched that ad again, and it's like, again, visual audience here, and Alex is putting up some great visuals here. So we got the 3-man crew rocking and rolling. Like, look, it's like as it's sending is when you can undo it. Like, what? Okay, great. So I have 3 seconds to work. I pay $3, $1 per second to try and fucking undo my tweet here.
Yeah, you're paying $3 a month to make the tweet longer to send.
Yeah. Maybe they'll throw spaces in there. Like, that's the thing is they're kind of just throwing new stuff at you and they're figuring out what they can do for a pay for model, which is what everyone's kind of moving to.
And I don't think everyone's moving to it, honestly. I think free is always the way to go and you figure it out later.
Yeah, exactly.
Why, dude, we need Jack Dorsey back now.
That's what I'm saying.
Jack Dorsey would not stand for this.
No, we need the homie Jack. Jack Dorsey
sitting in his chair at home, like, I spent my whole life trying to stay free.
See, you know what? I wonder because Elon, like, I wonder how he looks on his past projects. Like, I feel like some of these guys are like, I got out at the right time, where it's like I'm moving on to different things because they kind of all just built a business and then made money to do more passion projects, which is interesting because Jack Dorsey does Square.
But I mean, that is that's basically what he's known for, right?
True. Yeah, exactly.
He's the CEO of what?
Square, which is now Block, I think.
Dude, that's whack. I don't know why they changed the name. Yeah. Because of crypto, I guess.
Probably because of blockchain. I mean, just like Facebook switching to Meta. Which, speaking of, Facebook loses daily users over a business quarter, for the first time ever, and their stock plummeted.
Wait. More people deleted their account than made a new account.
Correct.
Like,
isn't that crazy?
On
Facebook.
Doesn't really surprise me that much.
Well, we kind of said it. Like, we know Facebook's a dying app, but just imagine how shell shook we will be once it's like, hey, we're deactivating Facebook because there's not enough people using it anymore. I'm only using it for birthdays, and I'm starting to that's about it.
And now, when you wish someone a happy birthday via text, it'll say, do you want to add this birthday to their contact? And I'm like, oh, fuck yeah. After a year, I won't need Facebook.
That's a life hack. Wow. Yeah. Apple's fucking boxing out Facebook now too. I mean, Meta.
I used to load everyone's birthdays into my calendar, just like every time I'm like, oh, I haven't seen that one yet.
That's what it does. It's like, do you want to add this to your contacts calendar or whatever?
Right.
Which is nice. Alex, can we get an update on the Boring Company? Because you said, they're doing new projects and stuff. I want to see, like, what has the Boring Company done in the past 5 years? Are they still digging holes?
I'm looking at latest,
for what? Sorry.
So the Boring Company, have you ever heard of it?
I have not. No, I'm ignorant here.
All right, it's one of Elon Musk's $1 million ideas, right? But
side businesses, I guess.
I've heard of he wants to build like an underground rail from Miami to New York, something similar.
That's what it is, but that's what he sells the flamethrowers on. And
didn't he make tequila too?
So you ready for that? Yeah, he did release that lightning bolt one. It's sweet. But so in April 2021, the Boring Company opened its first public project. The Las Vegas Convention Center loop system offers 3 stations over 2 tunnels with 1.7 miles of tunnels stretching over a distance of just under a mile. So that's coming up here hot. But
it's going to be used soon.
And then here, peep this. they show a little map.
And subscribe to us on YouTube, a great way to catch us there. We've got the visual and the rundown working great now, so another great way to catch the podcast. So what do we got here?
So I'm not familiar with Diamond Lot and everything, but it looks just like 1.7 miles loop system, easy in, easy out kind of system. But also, have you seen anything about the tunnels in like LA?
I've not
recently.
So I don't know any whereabouts or what, but he got a few counties. So I guess I'm in my eye, but he got a few counties to like sign off that said, yeah, like you can use your boring company and like take on these projects kind of at your own cost. And he developed like private roadways that can be used. I don't, I'm paraphrasing in a sense. I don't know I got to look it up too, but I just saw someone tweet the other day that said, they're like, oh yeah, everyone thought that these underground tunnels would be a good, quicker path, but they're still just like traffic backed up. I was like, oh,
dude, you know what he should do is only allow Teslas to go in the tunnels.
The funny thing is a lot of the cars in that photo was a lot of Teslas.
Dude, I was thinking about long and hard because I think, speaking of just like wasting money and thinking about the future, like what are we doing with gas? Why do I have a gas Jeep right now other than it's great in the snow? That's my one worry is I know Tesla's like getting better in the snow and I see them out here in Minneapolis a lot too, but aren't they kind of made for LA and sunny weather? Like I think I saw some horror stories of people like opening their trunk with snow. It just like fell into the trunk on all their shit.
It's a lot of Tesla people here, like a lot of them still have a gas car to go up to the mountains and
for when
like,
it snows and shit. Yeah.
I mean, they're good in snow. Don't get me wrong.
Yeah. Oh, okay. That's interesting.
But sorry to interrupt you. I was just gonna say the Boring Company also like the whole idea is, how for our entire lives they've talked about St. Louis to KC or St. Louis to Chicago like tunnel that like
like a light rail or something. Yeah.
So essentially, I think that's what the Boring Company's like goal is to actually make that like become a real life.
That would be sweet, like another option as opposed to air travel. Austin, let's get a little life update from you. It's been a while. Welcome back. What's been going on?
Thanks. Good to be back in the cut. I'm a new man.
What? Really?
Short. I'm a new man, change man. I got a new job.
Okay.
It's 100% in the office though in Fort Worth. So huge life change for me.
What are you talking there? A little bit of a commute?
Yeah, it's like 45 minutes, give or take.
Both ways?
But what?
Both ways?
Yeah. Which isn't like that bad, but I'm
sure,
like right now I have 100% freedom where I can essentially work from anywhere all the time, and I'm going from 100% to 0%. Right. But it's just a huge career move that I have to make to keep growing. And it's a really, really good company. And shout out to Lexi Gorman. She knew the president of the company, so she got me the interview.
All about connections, baby. That's awesome. That's exciting. Starting new stuff. But yeah, I feel what you're saying, going from 0 to 100 again and kind of getting used and acclimated to a whole new, atmosphere.
Yeah. And this is like one of those type of companies where a lot of people never leave. It's like you stay with them for
really
career. So, we'll see how it goes. I'm pretty happy about it. I start middle of March. So I told my company today.
Ooh,
they were pretty sad to say the least. But I figured I'd give them like a month in advance just so that they can utilize me. Also, I have a girlfriend.
Stop. Stop. What?
Yep, I have a new girlfriend. We've been talking for a little while, and I was like, you know what? Let's make it official.
Nice.
So, big boy moves.
And I never have a real girlfriend, you know that. Like, I'm always single. So we're going to Trader Joe's tonight.
What are there some funny things there where you want to be doing some stuff that you didn't realize you'd be doing, but you find yourself?
She is completely changing my life, like unbelievably. like
Yes.
teaching me how to cook.
Right.
Just like, I'm like, Jesus Christ. She's like showing me the shit. And I'm like, I'm actually 26 years old. I act like I'm 20.
Dude,
So,
and it's
yeah.
like it's a great I don't know, like I definitely feel with Kelsey is like it's almost like an opposites attract kind of thing where it's like we are two totally different people, but when we come together, it's like we better each other for the best, and we show each other different parts of life.
That's crazy you said that, because we even say to each other we're like the opposite person, but then when we're like together, we're like the exact same person.
Right.
It's weird. Like I got a duvet. You even know what
Yes,
the
correct.
duvet is?
Yes, not the bidet, but it is a good combo, duvet as well.
I got duvet, new lamps,
You're on a
like
cloud. Yeah, when the light looks different, the world looks different when you're in love. Yeah, when you've got someone by your side showing it with you. Damn, good looks. Is it a Dallas chick or someone we know from back home?
yeah, she's actually from KC.
Nice.
She moved here a couple months after me, and we just so happened to meet out and hit it off.
Good looks. The legend Aaron Platts gets to enjoy a Super Bowl this weekend. He got to enjoy Dallas last weekend.
Oh, yeah, let me tell you about that. Aaron, you know, he has season tickets to the Rams.
Mhm.
So he has 2 tickets, and then my cousins have 4 others. So they have 6 season tickets total. So obviously you could put into the raffle to be able to buy Super Bowl tickets at, you know, seat price or whatever. And like, you know, the first section has a 75% chance of winning. The second section has like a 50% chance, because like they have to sell some of the seats, you know what I mean?
Right.
And none of them got a Super Bowl ticket.
Damn.
And his seats are going for over 20 grand each on StubHub.
I was going to say, have you seen what those prices are? It's $5,500 just to stand.
Yeah. He really thought, you know, one of them would get 1 ticket and then they split it.
You've been there. How awesome is that stadium?
It's really, really cool. I also went to the New Orleans stadium, where they call it the Superdome.
Yeah, the Superdome, really.
In the Superdome, I was way up top, so it was different perspective. But I thought both of them were super, super cool.
Interesting. Was Superdome's kind of older, right? And they went through Katrina.
Yeah.
Did you notice it was a little older, or still
Not
nice?
really. But I'll tell you what, the Rams one is really nice. It's really clean. It's cool. It's got waviness to it.
Yeah.
I don't know if that's the right word.
Sure. No, it just looks like scenic. It just looks like there's tons of sunshine. It's crazy.
Yeah. So, you know, Aaron's still a good Rams fan. So I threw 500 on the Rams to win the Super Bowl. I think that it might be the biggest blowout Super Bowl of all time.
Bengals going to win by that much, huh? What happened there? Oh my God, dude!
I wanted to root for Joe Burrow, but as I sit back, I'm like, you know, I have to bet on the Rams. Like they might just kill them.
It's going to be interesting. I broke down. I did a core bets betting podcast that I dropped earlier today, which is just I kind of looked at all the trends. Like what's crazy is the Rams are now in 4 different Super Bowls. This will be their 5th. They won the one, right? The greatest show on turf. But they haven't covered in a single Super Bowl. They're 0-3-1. Bengals are 0-2 in the Super Bowl straight up, but they're 1-1 against the number, which is interesting because it's like, you know, the number usually doesn't matter. And here's what's even better is the favorite in Super Bowl history is 26-26. Dead fucking
really
even. Yeah. So it's like,
wait, when you like money line or run line?
Yeah, number spread.
Spread.
Yeah, and then so it's and the over under I think is also 26-26. But what's interesting about the spread versus the money line is everyone that covered. So the straight up winner, sorry, this is a little confusing, but the straight up winner who won the Super Bowl, they covered 36-5, like overwhelmingly. So it's like only 5 times has a team won but not covered.
Wow.
That's like, are you just betting Rams spread? Because that's what's interesting is like you don't get the value with the money line, but if you think the Rams are going to win, you should probably just bet the spread.
Yeah. For sure. And I got him at 4 now, 4.5. So a lot of games have the 3 and the 4 spread. So
it's a sorry, I thought you had something there.
I was just gonna say, so yeah, the Rams, we're rooting for the Rams, at least I am. But yeah, Aaron and Jordan and Amory was supposed to come to Dallas too last weekend, but her flight got canceled. They were in the cut. I figured it'd be cool to have the siblings all together now that Jordan's 21.
Yeah.
And we kind of went out with Jordan for the first time, besides his birthday, but he met all my friends and it was really a fun weekend.
Oh, that's sick. I didn't realize Jordan was there too.
That's awesome.
Yeah, I saw the crew was getting after it. UFC 271 is this Saturday. I am jacked up. I'm going live for it with a couple of my buddies on my YouTube page. Did you see what Full Send and the Nelk Boys are doing? I think they announced this with Dana White. Is they're having an event where they literally pick a fighter and it's their fighter. Yeah, and they kind of they bring the power of all their fan base. It's almost like a sponsorship. Like this is, it's kind of what Patty the Batty has with Barstool, but Full Send, who's going to be the Full Send UFC fighter, which I think is awesome.
Yeah, the whole Patty the Batty thing for 7 figures, they said. What has Patty the Batty done content-wise at all?
Dude, did you catch the Dave Portnoy show today or from LA? It was it was pretty good, but it's so funny because I get what they're doing is like as they grow, they keep adding content and more people, right? But then hardcore Barstool guys who have been there forever are like, well, this isn't the same, but in Dave's defense, more money's just hiring more people. But you know how he got bought out by Penn, or Penn bought a stake in Barstool. Now they opted into 100% of Barstool. So they own 100%. And Eddie, who does the podcast with Dave, was kind of just like, people are kind of worried. Like, does that mean like what they're just going to cut people? Because Dave says he'll have the last say, but contractually he won't. And then he threw a wrench in the whole thing. And it was like, well, if the CEO of Penn, who's super tight with Barstool and Dave, if he just ups and leaves, then holy crap, Penn could just take a fucking hatchet to them.
Yeah, but I think Penn does have a good relationship with them, and they know that their whole brand is for the people. But it's funny you say that because I remember on the Dave Portnoy podcast months ago when Eddie was like asking Dave, he's like, "Won't Penn have the option to like buy all of it?" And Dave was like, "Yeah, I don't really know much about that." It's like, Dave,
yeah,
he's so like not really that much of a businessman. He just wants other people to kind of take care of it.
Yeah, he's like a content guy. He just wants to gamble and make content and enjoy stuff with his friends. I really love listening to his podcast because it is like, I want to be a content creator. So it's like, and in this business, I think he's got a great eye for what this business is and where it's moving. And just like, because he's even talking about it. He's like, well, if they try and do something, I could just walk away. And then what's Barstool without me,
Honestly, what is Barstool without Dave Portnoy?
None. So that's what's super interesting. And it's like, what is Pat McAfee's show without McAfee? What is the Levitard show without Levitard? It's the new name of the game is everyone's owning their own brand. And you kind of get we're creating our own cable. It's like, all right, I'll watch McAfee in the afternoon. I'll watch Portnoy Wednesday night, Levitard tomorrow morning. And it's all on demand. It's awesome.
But yeah, it's cool with Portnoy because he basically just takes chances on these people. Yeah, and is hoping that they hit it big.
Like, what does Doug's do? What is what is like? I like that he wants to. I like that too. I like paying people for people that enjoy doing work for us. But then it's like it's almost like he's signing up everyone, right? And it's a year deal, and it's like, wait a second, at the end of the year, okay, I guess it's that's the name of the game.
He fires people, so
yeah,
he like gives them years to like figure out their niche.
Yeah.
But dude, the whole Patty the Batty thing, he paid over $1 million for him for what, 3 years? I haven't seen Patty the Batty do one thing content wise. I haven't even seen him fight. He
hasn't fought since. He hasn't fought since. Dave, I think Dave was stoned one night, watched a UFC fight night, saw Patty the Batty, almost lost that fight, come back, kick his ass. People are losing their mind on Twitter. He goes to his UFC guy and goes, "Get me that guy." And
yeah. He's like, when he was talking to him, he's like, "Dude, I went down the Patty the Batty YouTube rabbit hole where I watched all your videos." He basically was like, "You want $1 million to rep our brand?" But dude, my thing is like, if Patty the baddie loses, like then what?
Flush that fucking $1 million down the toilet. Yeah, like he could come back, but that would be a huge hit on the return on investment for sure.
Yeah, and the Nelk Boys thing is cool. Like they're going to that fighting event,
Yeah.
and they get to like pick their fighter. Dude,
Kansas City, should we get boots on
fighter
the ground for that? We might have to get some people we know to go attend that.
that is in Kansas City. But dude, imagine being the fighter getting chosen by Nelk as your sponsor.
You'd be like a gladiator. Yeah, it's a no-brainer for a fighter to link up with these guys. And what I hope is more and more people do this. Like, you know, it's weird, like owning a champion, but you know, I feel like there's going to be more kind of sponsorship groups being like, nah, that's my fighter. It's almost like horse racing, which is, you know, I don't want to put 2 and 2, but that's what it is. It's a gladiator sport.
Jake Paul technically has his own boxing company or whatever, and he just signed, I think, the #1 MMA chick.
Really? The chick that took out Nunez?
I think the chick, it might have been Nunez.
Yeah.
I could be talking about it my ass, but he signed someone legit. So he's doing it too, low key.
Yeah. Any legs to this rumor? I saw a rumor that was rather interesting. Tinfoil hats on. Blake Griffin is rumored to be the father of Lana Rhodes' baby.
No way. Where'd you see that?
Somewhere on TikTok. One of these, I don't know. They were pinning it together like she was in New York. She's been mum on it, right? We don't really know who it is.
So when Lana Rhodes went on BFFs, she kept talking about how she wanted to fuck Blake Griffin, but she wouldn't say the name. And like people were like leaking in the comments. They're like, it's Blake Griffin, it's Blake Griffin.
Interesting.
So that would be funny if it was Blake Griffin.
Right. I think so. There has to be at least some legs to that.
Is it like those little girls in the room that's like, I've been searching for the past 6 hours and here's what I think?
Dude, how about the new people at Barstool where literally they're just like kind of like the news updaters? Like they just, you know, the Jordan Woodbrow on TikTok, who all she does is kind of keep up to date with what Bryce Hall is doing.
I don't really pay attention to those. When I see them, I'm like, ugh, I literally couldn't care less.
Yeah, they are informative. Like she is good at her job. Like if I'm curious about a topic, like what the hell is going on with this Taylor Holder shit? Like he's getting arrested, but everyone's kind of like staying quiet about it. Like she just kind of like she posts a lot and just kind of does give all angles. But again, it's like
it's kind of similar to the 1 Minute Man too.
Right, exactly.
And I have noticed that KFC has like shortened those. Thank God, because they used to be like 4 minutes and
4 or 5 minutes. Yeah.
Through this. But now they're actually like a minute.
Yeah, he does a good job. Joey does some great job kind of making thumbnails for me on YouTube now too. And he wants to get into more video editing stuff. And I think like that no brainer. He could do some fire like video editing clips that we could do. Like I've talked about Jack doing like movie reviews, just him, you know, for our social media or something. Yeah, which is what I want to lastly get into is TV. Sorry.
Well, I was just gonna say, speaking of movies, whenever I see like these movie critics our age on TikTok, like talk about the best movies of all time or movies they've given 100% to, I'm like, oh my God, let's go.
Yeah,
dude, like I've got this random dude's word for it that these are like the best movies ever.
Bro, I've got a running list on IMDb. Like I have my watch list and then I rate after I watch everything. Like I'll screenshot some shit to you. It's fantastic. Like I have a list of top 10s, 10 out of 10s for TV and movies.
That's my girlfriend's like favorite app is the IMDb app.
It's great. It's great. Yeah, you need that app.
So you can make lists and say what you've seen and shit.
You can make lists. You look up any actor, what they have been in, what they're popular in. Speaking of wormholes, you can go down a whole thing there. Their app and their website's great. You could see what's coming out like in 2 years. Like if you go to Christopher Nolan's page and it's like in pre-production, here's what he's working on next. And it's just like the title. And you're just like, fuck. I think he's doing the atomic bomb next. My favorite.
Dude, speaking of like cool apps, there's an app where you can like if you see a plane, you can look at this app tracker and it'll tell you where that plane's coming from, where it's going to, what type of plane it is.
Yeah, it's Elon Jet. No, I think my dad actually, he has one for ships. Like he actually just likes looking. He's like, yes, here's the SS traveling near Cambodia at this time. It's crazy, like a full batch of shit. I was disappointed by Ozark, the first 7 episodes of the new season. Have you guys caught up?
I'm on like 4 or 5.
Dude, I just kind of grinded through them. I felt like it was a little boring outside of whenever Darlene decided she wanted to pick up a shotgun. The final season should have been 7 episodes. I felt like they used this 7 episodes to lay the groundwork for the next 7 episodes. And it's just like, I mean, I get it, but I don't know. What have you thought where you're at so far, Alex?
I like your take. It feels like they're setting it up, and I'm like, there's no way they're going to be able to wrap all this up. Like it's almost like they're kind of going on this whole new venture now that they've established Ozark. And
the nature of the season seems to be like, hey, just get this drug guy, freedom. And I'm like, okay, I guess. And I guess that's the way for the family to finally get out. But I don't know. And now like Jonah's the bad guy. Like they're throwing new fucking, kind of storylines at us a little too late. I don't know.
Yeah.
Ian Corbett, I was going to get on, but maybe we still might get him. If we have some substitute tea with Austin P, Ian said he'll jump on in 10 minutes and we'll talk Euphoria because god damn this last episode. I got Kelsey. I was like, Kelsey, you should watch Euphoria. She watched it in a day, all the way caught up. Like she couldn't stop watching. But I do want to talk about Ian about that because it's crazy what they're doing. Let's just get a couple. This is the first 18 minutes of this. Sorry, Alex, are you caught up?
I'm on the last probably 10 minutes of the episode, but whatever. Spoiler
the latest. Yeah, no, and the first 18 minutes were a tough watch. But damn, they did a great job of just kind of portraying what addiction was.
Yep.
Like the manic of 1 minute you're crying, begging your parents, I'm sorry, to snap of a finger, you're right back to searching for your pills and just smashing shit. Manic, feeling invincible, running from the cops, breaking into a house, just, thinking you could get pills that way. And just the entire chase of the episode as you're following Rue was, what Euphoria is doing is transcendent television. And it's kind of like, it makes you think about so much more topics. It's like the blend of the last 2 generations, us, millennials and Gen Z. And what's interesting with my brother is like, what you're seeing in these, with this high school is people exploring their sexuality. And it's so different from what older generations did, where it's like, no, you're not allowed to be anything else than this. You're not allowed to have feelings. That too, mental health. It's a real in-depth look at that.
Oh yeah, it's extremely deep, especially when basically back to the mental health. It's really just like it shows you so many different angles. But I was gonna say I loved the scene with Fez when he basically is just like manhandling her, and I'm like I don't know, just it's good.
Dude, he was so funny. He was like, "Yo, you need some Pepto-Bismol?" She's like, no, and he's so chill. He's like, no, come on, Rue. And he throws her out like that. That was like, I think that was the best episode I had seen, and there was a lot of good ones from the series.
Yeah, that episode absolutely cracked. I think the whole series led up to that. I think Zendaya even Instagrammed something with this huge like how she felt about the show and what she thinks people should take away from it. I think, is there another season after this? Or is this
I think there's got to be. I would even argue season 1 was great. I think season 2 has been better. Like it's been nonstop crazy.
I like 2 better than 1.
Yeah.
I think it's been good, dude. But I still think that one episode when they're at the fair, and dude, you got to rewatch that episode. It is so well shot. I think it's the most well shot show of all time.
100%.
Yeah, the ending scenes, I think, if I'm not mistaken, is an awesome film. Like just moment.
Yeah, the lighting, the music, like God, the tense music of Rue running through traffic in a chase scene, and then and I love how they switch up the intro every single time. Is like they gave us 18 full minutes of holy crap, and then boom, there's the title. I was
Dude,
like, holy shit.
I was walking down my hallway to my car, and I just hear toot 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 in someone's room, and I was like,
yeah,
you're like, yes, okay, you're in for it. You're like, holy crap.
So wait, is Ian like a big fan or something?
Yeah, he's a big fan, and like he has some funny takes on it. Like I was telling him, I was like, dude, like, am I just blind as a bat? Because I didn't know Jules was transsexual until she whipped her dick out and pissed on the fucking street, and my brother was just laughing his ass off at me. But it's funny because, like, and people that know me know that my brother's gay, and he, I don't think he doesn't dislike telling people that, but we're at the point where it's like kind of like what Carl Nassib did for the NFL. Was he came out, but he was like, why do we have to do this anymore? I'm doing this so I hope no one else has to come out because it's not even a big deal anymore. And like, so that, like my brother just assumes my family, friends know, right? And he just goes about his life. And it's just, I think he's got, because him going through high school, dealing with that, he was one of those kids that knew. And I feel like, he could provide an introspective thing as to like how he couldn't kind of explore this as opposed to Euphoria. Like it's out in the open, and maybe I just think that's fascinating to see where we've gone from in the last 5 to 10 years to where we apparently are now, as is portrayed in Euphoria.
Sure.
So he'll hop on here in 4 minutes while we've got some time. We got some substitute tea with Austin P.
Yeah. If he hops on, we'll just start talking to him, and we'll just do tea in the meantime.
Yeah, exactly. Fire stuff.
So over 30 million Americans plan to bet on the Super Bowl, which is almost 10%. And it's an estimated $7.6 billion will be wagered on it.
I've already laid $1,000, and I think I'm going to put another one down.
On the Bengals?
No, I'm all over. I've got like a bunch of, I did all my prop bets so far. Which was adding up there a little bit. But and again too is like I think because that line is 4.5, like my main play, like I would put $250 like my max play on Bengals teased with the under, because I think it's going to be a defensive game. And I was kind of talking about, so I'm taking some flyers on defensive players, even the goddamn kicker for the Bengals for Super Bowl MVP, because I think it's a crap game, and give the Bengals that's teased up.
That ever happened where the kicker gets the MVP?
I don't think it has, and it's more times than not a quarterback, sometimes defense, sometimes receiver. But I went back through the Bengals' 3 playoff wins, and you can't tell me that 2 of those games, the MVP wasn't the kicker. He was 4 for 4 in the last 2 games, and he kicked, I think, 3 fucking game-winning field goals.
Really?
Yeah. So it's like, hey, if this is a defensive battle and the Bengals win, and this motherfucker's 4 for 4 again, no one else kind of does anything, I'll take 70-1.
Yeah. 70-1. Holy shit!
I got some fucking island makers. But that is awesome. Great. Like everyone now that sports betting, everyone's betting, which is awesome. It's just we're all watching, and now it's not. We're just watching 2 great teams. We're watching. Oh, the Rams need to win by a touchdown.
Yeah. I'm not trying to get into a rabbit hole of like sports betting and shit, but I saw this thing where how like all these people are starting these books, these legal books, and trying to get people to come to their book,
right?
Like giving out promos and shit. Well, there's people that for a living will try to expose that and find really good promos and bet against each other and make guaranteed money.
Right. That's it. Like that would take a lot of work, but I see there's money to be made there. Certainly.
Yeah. Vegan Fridays. New York City schools are serving vegan lunches every Friday.
Barf. What? Wait a second. What if I just say no? Like you just go hungry that day? I mean, that's crazy.
Yeah, these meals are whack, dude.
What's 1 or 2?
Frontier Airlines announced plans to buy Spirit Airlines.
Wait, did you see some of the meals on there? What was it? Just like a kale salad?
It's a black bean cheese burrito in just this disgusting wrapper. It's dude, I don't even know. I can't even describe.
Here's your plant. Yeah, no, yeah, Frontier and Spirit. That's crazy.
But it would still only be the 5th largest U.S. airline.
Wait, say that again. Who bought who or what?
Frontier is gonna buy Spirit.
And they formed them together. They're now isn't Spirit, which one's in Denver? Alex, isn't one of them, I think, based out of Denver? Frontier, maybe?
Probably Frontier. Yeah, actually, there's an office by our office.
Yeah, and in Spirit, I think, is somewhat like in Florida, maybe. I could be wrong. What are the top? It's Delta, American, United. I knew I used to live in the same town as the person who owned JetBlue. But that's like a Northeast brand. I don't know if that's one of the top ones.
It says that they're ahead of JetBlue in Alaska.
Yeah, Alaska. That's right. Yeah. That's a big business move, you know.
Oh yeah, the companies did not reveal a name for the combined budget airline. Dude, what if it's a sick name?
I was thinking, what is it going to be? Freerit, Sprontier. I don't even know. Like, you got to get creative with it. It should just be called Budget, honestly.
What if it was called like Meta or something? Like, whoa,
dude, have you seen? I can't believe I didn't put this down there. You'd love this tea. There's a dude. I finally bought the New York Times, by the way. I succumbed to it.
Really?
I love it. It's solid. And they wrote about this guy that flies out of Las Vegas, and it's the Mile High Club. He literally has a plane that is he kind of ripped it out, has a bed in there. And he wears soundproof headphones, and it's just, hey, join the Mile High Club. Come have sex in my plane. I'll give you you could buy up to a private dinner. You could like buy up to like 2 hours, and it's just like this guy running his own fucking thing.
That's pretty smart, honestly.
Yeah. And you get your own certificate of the Mile High Club. I wonder if this guy's ever been to the Mile High Club here, as he's great. The timing is working here. Oh my God. It is the crappy internet himself, Ian Corbett.
Ian.
Hey, Platts.
Yes. Yes. You know Alex, Ian?
No, Alex. Hey, I'm Ian. I'm Dylan's brother.
Yes. No, perfect timing. So we welcome in my brother Ian Corbett with just the laggingest internet. He's sitting in front of maybe a Van Gogh painting. But we're just finishing up the tea, and then we're going to kind of get caught up on what's scaring you in the world. Our great climate change disaster and whatnot.
Fuck. No, I don't want to talk about that. I want to talk about Euphoria.
Is my
Wi-Fi that bad?
No, you're good now.
Okay, sweet.
All right, let's get back to the substitute tea with Austin P.
I just got a few more. We killed the ISIS leader. And let me say his name for you guys.
Okay.
Abu Ibrahim al-Hashimi al-Quraishi.
That's pretty good. I felt like no one wanted to give Biden a win. It was kind of just like, oh wow, we actually killed it. Oh, what? Biden or no. But isn't it kind of sketchy how I think our dad talked to me about this, where he's like, what's kind of sketchy is the fact, here's where we lost society, where it's just, you can drone strike somebody. That doesn't happen to us, but imagine if we lived in a country where we're at war and then boom, someone could just kill you with a push of a button.
That shit's sweet to me.
That's fucked up.
You're a dictator in another life, Austin. You got some. What'd you say, Ian?
It wasn't a drone strike.
Oh, okay.
The Navy, the Marines showed up. This is the story that Biden tells. Which
Biden just showed up and capped him with a 66 himself.
Him and Hillary, yeah. They showed up and they say, I don't know. I'm one of those people who doesn't want to give Biden the win on this.
Well, wait a second. Talk about that a little bit, because, there's the fight between the far right and the far left. And I think we all kind of find ourselves in the far middle. Was like, can we just get someone to fucking lead us here?
Far left. And I don't think we're far enough.
Okay, well, Ian live from DC. That's right.
Yeah. Okay, wait. What's next, D? I don't want to talk about any sad stuff. Talk about good stuff.
Fair enough.
The only other thing I had is that the Washington football team is now the Washington Commanders.
Nice.
Yeah, that's your neck of the woods. Have you been to FedEx Field?
No, but I've been to their old stadium, which is a rotting dump like down the street from me. And I really hope they bring the team back.
Just like the rotting dump they currently play in too. Vicksville. You like the XFL team, but we're not sure if they're coming back, right?
No, it's so funny though. There's this statue over by the old stadium that they poured blood all over it. I guess it was the founders of the Redskins. And like
Well,
during
you
the
can't. Come on, bro. What? Come on.
oh yeah, the bleed
The Commanders, bro.
Commanders. But they poured blood, they poured red paint all over his statue, and then they removed the statue. So now there's just red paint just all over the sidewalk, and it looks like they just spilled it.
Splattered.
Dude,
Ian,
that's the stupidest name I've ever heard in my life.
Commanders or Red?
yeah, well, okay. I heard that someone kind of fucked them up and like trademarked all these names. They're like, oh, the football team needs a new name. I'm just going to trademark all these things that it could be, and they got screwed out of so many fucking names.
Really?
Yep. Yeah.
Ian, what's going on in DC?
DC's good. You know how there's a Canadian protest in Ottawa right now with a bunch of truckers and
The
everything?
truckers, that's right.
Apparently they're going to do a similar sort of redux, but a US based one in DC. So we got to look forward to that, which I think is going to be kind of fun.
What's that all
Okay,
about?
correct.
What are they protesting?
Vaccine mandates.
Well, what's going on with that now? Because New York State comes out and they say, hey, we're taking down masks. And now I'm like, wait a second. Why is you guys are, it's New York and California, right? Why is Minnesota still on masks? We're kind of following your lead. Why can't we fucking, get these out of here?
Soon to come, I think. I think
Yeah.
we're in the last weeks of it.
Shit, we said that last year too.
We said that in May of 2021. That felt so fucking good.
I forgot to tell you guys, we were hoping to, so Ian Corbett's our guest, that we have put in a request for Ben Geller, who is, an old friend from high school, and now he's finding himself up the rungs of the government. Like, I think he's a state representative or something in New York. But then I realized what side of the aisle he was when I did a little Instagram, Facebook dumpster dive. And it's some funny stuff. I think it would be a pretty funny interview, but I think he objected to our slander of Mike Lindell a little bit.
Dude, he's so PC. He cannot come on this podcast.
Dude, I think he Instagrammed something today, which was like the one pipeline Joe Biden isn't stopping. And it's literally Photoshopped Joe Biden smoking crack. Out of a crack pipe.
That's not very PC.
Bring him on.
But like this dude was a quiet dude. And I guess, once we left Missouri, I kind of like look back on it and I'm like, wow, okay, I guess it was kind of a Republican state. I mean, we were kids. We didn't get lost in that shit. But now that we're, maybe that's what birthed Ben Geller, but I don't know.
I just Googled him and it's the kid from Friends. Like Ross's son. Is that
Really?
That would be a curveball if that was Ben.
Okay, never mind.
Dude,
All
I
right,
found
Ian.
this chair in the hallway and it was like free chair take. So I took it.
Dude, that's a
That's
gamer
nice.
chair. You're fucking, is it comfy too? It looks like you're riding fucking.
Yeah,
solid
dude.
e-race.
I called Jordan up immediately. I was like, how much can I sell this for? He's like, that's like a $350 chair. You should keep that. And I was like, oh.
I just got my new irons today. I'm going to showcase them with Ian Corbett in Arizona in a couple weeks. So I'll
2
take you
weeks.
to work. The road to 80. I'm excited. All right, Ian, give us your best on Euphoria. We kind of touched on it. It's just, it's so fascinating. And my question for you is like, it's a great kind of blend of millennials into the show, watching what Gen Z is kind of growing up with, right? And I think it's just fascinating where it's like mental health was a stigma no one talked about when we were growing up. Your sexuality was something that nobody talked about growing up. How has that changed? Is Euphoria actually portraying this accurately?
I think you see that Gen Z says that, like, no, this is not what's going on, but I think it kind of is. And I think it's terrifying. Like, I think kids nowadays are like fucked up in ways that like we couldn't even imagine being fucked up. Like, I thought being gay was a problem when I was whatever. Right. And now I'm like, now I'm like, oh, I could have been addicted to pills. Like,
Right, no kidding.
I love this show so much though. I think it's like I didn't start watching it in 2019 because I was like, oh, it's like a high school show. And I'm like, I don't want to watch a high school show when I'm like in my 20s. Right. But it's just so good. And it's like an art form in itself. And Matty Perez is like the most iconic character. of the 21st century.
Who is? Sorry, you,
And
you
I would go
went
on
a little
record to
slow
say
there.
that Maddie Perez.
Who is that her stage name or I
The
know all the
character's name. She's
Yeah.
the one who knocks on the door. Maddie. She's the one who's like who's like,
crazy.
I'm dressed like a hooker.
Yeah, okay.
She is fire. But
She's the
dude, you know
best
who
character.
you know who my woman crush Wednesday is?
Sydney
No.
Sweeney.
Yeah. But
Okay.
I've been
Yeah,
saying
Sydney
this
Sweeney's
for-
blowing up.
I've been saying this for 2 years since the first season before she was popular. So that's what my
Dude,
bad
Ian,
there.
didn't you like White Lotus too?
Yeah,
Which I
she
didn't
was
realize
great on
she
White
was in
Lotus.
that.
Dude, I like Alexandria Daddario too.
Yes, that's right. Ian, don't we know the guy who created that? Or mom keeps trying to.
He's related to us.
He's related to us. The creator
Yeah.
of White Lotus is related to us. I watched the first 15 minutes, saw a penis, and I was out. The HBO. What are we doing there? I didn't
Oh
understand.
no, give it a chance, Dylan. You'd love it. You'd love it.
Okay,
Yeah,
I'll give it
Dude,
a
it's so good. Sydney Sweeney's one of the best. Yeah.
I loved White Lotus.
All right, I'll give it another chance. Yeah, I was just a little worried because they just threw a fucking cock in my face. I was like, that was unnecessary. In the first 15 minutes.
But
it's
you're
like,
watching Euphoria.
yeah, I know, but at least Euphoria has a way where it's like it's such an art form. Like, we all
The
make
cock.
fun of Cal having that serious monologue with his penis hanging out as he pisses all over the floor. That the whole Cal conundrum is fascinating to me. This guy grows up struggling with sexuality at a time before, obviously, us. And then he gets a girl pregnant and he has to just live this fake life. Imagine being this imposter and how fucked up that can make you as an adult. I think even his kind of portrayal is even fascinating as a take on adulthood nowadays.
And how much it can fuck up your kids.
Yeah, exactly. Okay, wait.
Yeah.
So the conspiracy theory, who's the third kid?
I know. What the hell?
Well, who's the second kid?
The two brothers. Dad, put your penis away. What the fuck? You don't remember that? The two
Yeah,
brothers?
that's the second kid. Who's the third?
That's the question.
He takes down the family portrait, Cal does, and there's 3 boys in the picture.
Dude, I
thought
was
it
kind of
was
out of
a
it
girl.
during this monologue. Wait, what?
Yeah. Dude, Euphoria is one that I'm finding, especially this season, because like I kind of watch it like I have a couple beverages, even though this is a show I have to watch sober because it's so great. And then I like, yeah, oh wow, okay. Who's the missing kid?
Dude,
Freaky,
what if
right?
it's
Ashtray.
People thought it was
Ashtray.
Ashtray, but they're like, nah, he was a baby. All that shit. Dude, it's just a great show because it's suspenseful. It makes you cringe. It makes you uncomfortable, and it just keeps you glued.
We
Yeah.
should talk about. Dylan called me yesterday, and he was like, "Did you know Jules was trans?" And I was like,
Well, that's how we should end. Is like, I'm so blind to this shit. Like, I like to think I'm cognizant, and like, Matt Damon has to learn how to not say the gay slur because he grew up in Boston. It's like I learned not to say that, obviously, but it's like I also have to learn. Oh, I'm just like clueless. Like, I'm obviously like, empathetic to everything and everyone, but I just don't see shit like that. Like, Ian, I didn't know you were gay until you came out. And you were just like, you
Which
were
was
like, wait, how did you
shocking.
not know?
I know. I was actually very, very surprised. Yeah.
Wait, dude, the end of the first episode of season 1, they're laying together, and Jules has the biggest bulge in her little
Yeah.
thumb.
I did not notice
There's
that.
and also she has a backstory pre-transition.
Yeah,
I
there's
thought
a
she was a
whole
chick
big-
into girls. I had no idea. And then fucking, the dad bones her in that first couple episodes. I thought he was just into young women, like he was a sicko like that. I was just like, wait, okay. And then they had that guy, that guy that looked like he was more cross-dressing than trans. See, I don't even know if I could talk about this.
Yeah, it was like,
You've seen with
yeah.
and downs.
And I was like, wait a second, what's happening here? That probably should have been a fucking clue. So Cal's just into dudes.
/ like femme.
Right. Or girls.
Men.
Okay. Like trans women. Yeah.
Yeah.
Again, like this show is teaching me something too, which is kind of just like, yeah, it makes me ignorant, but at least I'm willing to fucking learn.
So, before we head out, Ian,
Yeah.
what's up with your life these days? Are you, how's your job? Are you still working from the same job?
I forget if it was the same one when I was on here, but I'm applying for new jobs. I applied for a couple grad
Hey,
schools.
you're thinking about grad school, right?
Yeah.
You were
Wait,
thinking about
isn't
Boulder.
your-
Alex is out in Denver.
You're out in Denver?
Yeah, come on out.
I just like, I was like, anywhere I can ski my life away is where I want to be. So
Yeah, fair warning about like how many people have moved here, but otherwise,
well, I'm gonna be
it's
one of them.
#1 ski destination in the world. So
Wait, I thought your dream job was to clean up beaches, or am I tripping?
I know. Remember last time? So last time they were supposed to be, or we were allowed to talk about the world ending now. But like
Yes, wrap us up with your climate change hitter.
last time,
Excellent.
Congress supposed to be called the Climate Corps. That just completely fell on its face.
They
And that's what I
just
wanted to
threw it
do,
in
so
the
I was actually
trash
holding
can
out
as
for
soon as it entered the chamber.
They literally shot it.
They shot it.
It's just I feel so stupid for being like, oh, of course they're gonna do this. And then they just did it. And I was like, come on. I'm like hoping so, like, I don't know if anybody wants to show up in DC and like do exactly what they're doing in Ottawa, but like a climate version where everybody just lives on the mall until we decide to do something about fucking climate change. I'd be down. I'll bring the snacks.
You know the real quick,
for.
you know the thing where Leo's like, if we don't change it in 7 years or whatever, we're fucked.
Oh, I mean, but minus 7 years at this point.
Really?
Like we're getting to that
Yeah.
point where it's irreversible, right? Like before, I remember
Yeah.
growing up and people were like climate change, and then everyone was like, ah, and then I was a kid, I was like, all right, yeah, you're right. And now you kind of grow up and you make your own, research, make your own opinions, form your own opinions. You're like, Jesus Christ, you're like shit. But yeah, again, and I think people who are in charge of this are like, well, shit, we can't go back. It's like there's so much invested in going forward.
I think of it like, okay, so like, when you don't study, you don't do a paper and everything until the last possible day. And then for some reason, there's a snow day. And then you just waste it. You get lucky.
And you're like, fuck,
day.
I'll do it next.
And then you just waste it. I think that's going to happen. I think we're going to realize that we're so fucked. And then all of a sudden something's going to happen. And we're like, oh, actually, we have more time. Like a volcano erupts. And then we still don't do anything because
an underwater volcano erupted too. That was the other thing. I don't want to live on a coast. There was a job open in San Diego. I was like, do I even bother applying? And I was like, wait, do I want to deal with fucking, a crap house for double the price of what I'm living in now for half the size, and then fucking COVID mandates, taxes?
Are you thinking about moving out of Minnesota?
Yeah, the first I heard about that.
No, I'm not. I'll always keep this house. I'm looking for a second house. I'm looking for like I'm looking for like an Arizona, kind of, I want to leave for the winter because Kelsey's a nurse and she could go anywhere. And I'm basically just doing play-by-play, which is seasonal. So it's like, and I could do the podcast anywhere. So
yeah.
Dude, remember when you gave me that little business proposition of all of us pitching in for one house?
Yes.
That would be sweet.
Yes, dude. I was thinking about that in Dallas. Now that all you guys were there, I was like, I would chip in and sell my room out, just because owning property is that's the way to go. Ian, thanks for stopping by. Did you have some work there?
Thanks for having me. That's what I live in right now. A bunch of people bought this townhouse in DC and now they rent it out and I have a room in it.
Yeah, you live in like almost a hostel. Like you have like 8 different roommates, don't you?
I have 11.
11, yeah.
Yeah.
What, in the same house?
It's crazy. This thing goes like all the way up to the moon. Ian lives in the freaking attic. And you're just walking up and people are just walking up and down the stairs.
Did you stay over here? No, you didn't sleep in this.
No, fuck no. God, I mean,
I stay in my the bar that I lived above in Washington State.
We're all well traveled. Ian was a ski instructor once in a bar in Washington State. Like he lived on top of there was 40 people that lived at the bottom of this mountain, and Ian lived on top of a bar with 2 people. Just disgusting place.
4 people.
Oh, and then there was just some random dude named Greg who showed up the week before I got there and just
Jeff
decided to live there.
And he was like, he would always play video games in Mortal Kombat and he would yell, cocksucker, cocksucker, cocksucker over and over again at the top of his lungs until he was just sleeping.
He would wake Ian up with cocksucker.
Like, Jeff, what the fuck are you doing?
All right.
So long story short, you don't really know what you're doing with your life right at the moment.
Who the fuck knows what we're doing with our lives?
Touche. I'm just curious. Like, are you going back to school, you think?
Yeah, maybe. We're still young here, right?
Yeah.
We got time to fuck it up again.
It's the name of the game. Winging in life. Winging here on the pod.
Hey, thanks for having me on. I always like seeing you guys. Nice meeting you, Alex.
Yeah, good stuff, Ian. Thanks for stopping
You as
by.
well.
Alex and Austin, we're putting in work this week. Hope you enjoy it. We'll talk to you next.